Hello, welcome to the Lalantia show. Today I'm coming on to do the monthly reading for the month of November 2020, and I am switching things up a little bit this month, and I pulled a few cards and I channeled, but I used a lot less cards, and I did use tarot cards, and I used the True Heart Intuitive Tarot by Rachel True because I just felt called to use that deck. It is a newer deck to me, but it has been super accurate so far. So I pulled the cards, I channeled, and I just kind of want to get a feel for what the energy is for November and what the main thing is that we need to have an awareness of. So we're going through a lot of political unrest in the US, but even around the world, it's happening more than normal, I guess I would say. So in November especially, we're having a lot of things that are coming up or changing. I don't even know what words to use. But I was really curious about, what tarot cards would come up in regards to the energy and what the guides would say. So when I channeled, the first thing that they talked about is that you must find peace within yourself. So you may not necessarily find peace in the world around you. And if you're seeking peace in other places, then you probably, or you may not be able to feel as if you achieve that place of peace. So it's really important to find that peace within yourself and that trust that all is well and everything is coming together for the highest and best good of all, because it may look like chaos outside of yourself, but it's important to remember that it's not all real. I mean, it's not all, there's so much happening, right? So you can't just get hung up on the craziness that's happening in the world and just allow yourself to see that there is a bigger picture at play, which actually goes along with the tarot cards that I pulled as well. So don't get caught up in the world as much. Don't get caught up in the world as much as it's not real or seen accurately. So we're not seeing everything that's really happening, right? We don't get shown behind the scenes. So it's important to be tuned into the energy within yourself and with the divine and not caught up in the energy of the craziness and chaos of the world, okay? So it's really important to remember in November. Now, the first card that I pulled, which I actually pulled yesterday because I was getting ready to do this reading, is the Hanged Man. So the Hanged Man is often about like shifts in perspective, seeing things in a different way. It's like showing you, it's important to do the inner work. And this goes along with what they had said, don't get caught up in the world and what you may be seeing because it may not all be accurate, right? So you may need a change in your perspective. They talked about the importance of doing the internal work so that you're able to see more clearly from within yourself and that connection to yourself and what resonates with you, your heart, your soul, what is your truth and not just what is everybody else's truths. There is also an energy of surrender because you can't control everything. There we go. Control. You may have this desire or this energy within you. You may not recognize what it is right away, but you may have this energy within you that is like you feel as if you are losing control. So you have to recognize that you cannot control what is happening outside of you. You can only control what is happening within yourself. But even that, like, only to a certain degree. Like, you don't want to be controlling things. So it is important to make sure that you're taking time to surrender. We're working on surrendering in the month of November, but especially towards the beginning of the month of November. And then they talked about it's important to be releasing the old stories. So your way of seeing the world and seeing things in your past or how you were raised, so this could be limiting beliefs and conditioning from childhood, it is important to be able to release those old stories because you're creating new ones. But if you're dwelling or staying in that energy of the old stories, you're not going to be able to embrace and step into the new stories, okay? So I've been talking a lot about manifesting and what we're creating, and if you haven't already watched those videos, I encourage you to jump over and check those out. They're all under manifesting. So here on my YouTube channel. So check them out, and it may help you like in your manifesting and just focusing on what you want to create within your life. Okay. So then we had the Seven of Swords, swords. Swords. I don't know. All of a sudden it's fun to say the word swords. Okay, so Seven of Swords is kind of known as manipulation. We even have Fox. So it's important to pay attention to the people that are in your life, making sure that they're not manipulating you. But I actually see this as a much bigger force of energy. And it goes along with what I had already said of not everything you see in the world is actually true. Okay, so you're only seeing a little bit that's being put out into the world. You're not seeing the whole picture. So don't be manipulated by media. Don't be manipulated by the people in your life who are trying to convince you of what is real. This is where you have to be tuned in and connected to yourself to understand and know what is your truth and what resonates with you. Don't get caught up in the chaos. Don't get caught up in the craziness. So what I'm getting really, really strong, that's really important to pay attention to in November, is a lot of false narratives. A lot of false narratives are going out into the world. People are very likely going to be in a place of fear because of it. Okay. There's going to be a lot of fear coming up for people, and a lot of manipulation of the masses, not just necessarily like your friends manipulating you, but people, like the manipulation of the masses. Okay. So, let's see. I'm just reading my notes about what else they said around that. Yeah, people, I pretty much said it. People aren't necessarily telling the whole story. You're only getting a little snippet, a little piece of the story. Okay. So remember that, keep that in mind. There's more here. Okay. Spirit is saying there is more to the picture here. We're going to see a lot of false stuff coming to the surface in the month of November. Stay focused within yourself and in communities and places that are safe. Don't get sucked into the chaos. Now, this next card is the next two cards, because it feels like everything's been negative so far, right? These two are, don't be manipulated. Don't get sucked into the false narratives. Don't be, like you have to go within yourself and do the work, all of that. Well, the next card is the Five of Swords. And the Five of Swords can be about peace and victory and things coming together. But one thing that I wrote down is that it's important to disengage from drama and to stay in your lane. So as long as you stay in your lane, you stay focused, you stay focused within yourself and not in the false narrative and the world that's happening outside of you, and the chaos that's happening in the world, but going within yourself and finding that place of peace. So disengaging from the drama of the world out there. But all of this is bringing this peace and victory, but I'm also getting that is what is coming. And this is you needing to recognize, they want you to know that everything that's happening that looks like it's really bad and awful and chaotic and intense and whatever, like it's all leading to that victory and what we really want this world to look like, right? Because we're manifesting, we're creating the new earth. So I say that we're creating the new earth. The world. Yes, the world came up. So what they're saying about this is that we're going to go through these false narratives. We're going to be shown all of these things, and they are trying to pull us into the chaos that is happening in the world. But if we can stay within ourselves and manifest from that place from within us and being in a place of peace and knowing that everything is actually working out for the highest good, because we are manifesting the new earth, the world, right? That's with the new earth, right? Yes. So this card is kind of known as, achievement, accomplishment. This is like everything coming to fruition. This is like the end. But for us, the end which isn't really the end, but a new beginning, is the new earth, right? So that is what our intention is. So everything that's coming up in these is coming up to be released so we can move into this. So you got to stay in your lane. You got to stay focused. You got to find that peace from within you. Don't be seeking it in others, because others aren't necessarily going to know the true stories. They're not necessarily going to know the bigger picture. They may not understand. Although finding a group of people who do understand, finding a safe place to be able to express yourself and not getting wrapped up in the fear, it's good to have those places. Have those places. My group, Sorceress Circle, great, safe place, right? We try to keep things at a place of peace there where everybody can express themselves, but it's peaceful, no chaotic and fearful energy, okay? So the world, we are creating the new earth. We got to release these false narratives. We got to release the old stories. We got to see things with new eyes. With new eyes, we even have an eye. We are creating a new way of being. But that means that people are going to have to be exposed. Things are going to have to be exposed. Old ways of being and doing things have to be exposed as false narratives, false ways of living, false truths, whatever you want to say. It's not in alignment with what we are creating for the new earth and the world that we are creating, right? So hopefully this makes sense to you. November may seem like kind of a scary month. Looking at the cards, Hanged Man, Seven of Swords. But then we have the Five of Swords, which is like so-so. It can have a few different meanings to it. And the World, which is awesome, right? So this reminder of the world. Everything is working out. Everything is coming together. Everything is going to be okay, all right? Don't get caught up in the different crazy, chaotic stories that are out there, okay? And I think that is everything for this reading. I wanted to kind of keep it a little bit shorter and simple for you to just go through. There's something else I was going to say. So I do have another YouTube channel that is with my friend Natalie. It is called Energy Expansion. And Natalie and I do pick a pile readings. We do conversations. So we have some conversations up right now we have conversations with galactic beings, or about galactic beings. We have conversations about fairies. And more videos are going up all of the time. So I will post the link below so that you can check out our YouTube channel. But it is pretty cool. And by the time this is posted, then there may be more videos that are up on our new channel as well. But we would love to have you join us there too. So, and Natalie is also my co-host in my group, our group, Sorceress Circle. So if you want to join us and be able to catch us on live videos and channeling and all of that, then make sure you join our group. All right, so thank you guys so much for joining me, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.